Hey, what's going on? This is Andre Sweeney, the Life Specialist. Welcome to the Good Life Show, the show that gives you the tools and principles necessary for an outstanding life. Today's segment is called Life Nuggets, and today I'm talking to you from the subject, 3 ways to help people. Listen, if you're like me, you love people. If you're like me, you're compassionate to the needs and the desires of other people. If you're like me, you're a teacher. If you're like me, you love young people. If you're like me, you love seeing people become successful, people reaching their goals, and helping people to identify their purpose, because it is our purpose that gets us out of the bed every day. It's our purpose that gives us our worth, our self-esteem, and it's our reason for living. So if you're anything like me, helping people is paramount to who you are. And so if you're a teacher, a pastor, a youth pastor, a community leader, anyone who feels the burden to help other people, I want to give you 3 ways that you can do so. Way number 1, prevention. Listen, it is imperative that you get people before they fall into the ditch. Many times we try to help people afterwards, and listen, don't get me wrong. I love programs, drug programs, and programs that help people get out of trouble. But one of the ways that we're going to have to start fighting this epidemic with our young people and other social problems is prevention. Let's try to help people before they become a crackhead. Let's try to help people before they get pregnant. Let's try to teach people before they join the gang. Let's do something before their life goes topsy-turvy and it's almost too late. There are some cases where it is too late. There are some cases where people are so into it. Look, if you don't believe me, look at the graveyards. Look at the prisons. They're full with people that did not get enough attention ahead of time. Now, that was their personal choice. But as a teacher, as someone that wants to make an impact, one of the ways that we can do so is prevention. And how do we prevent? We prevent by giving information. We prevent by teaching. We prevent by having programs that give parents parenting classes so they won't kill their children, so they won't abandon them. We need more programs that talk about drugs and how to stay away from drugs. We need more programs that talk about sexual morality. Let's talk to these kids and tell them. Let's go back to the old days where we tell kids, do not have sex. Let's not just give them condoms and tell them to go for it, but let's teach them about the consequences to sex, the physical, the emotional, all the aspects of sex that are bad and negative for young people. Let's start teaching them about those things. If we're going to make an impact in this society, we got to prevent it. We got to put our energies into making sure we say, hey, you're about to fall in that hole, as opposed to you're in the hole, how do we get you out? So number 1 is prevention. The second way we have to help people, unfortunately, is rescue. We have to know, because there will be people, no matter how much we train, no matter how much we try to prevent, there will be people who fall in that hole. There will be people who are out there drowning. And so there comes a time when every person who wants to help has to go on a rescue mission. You have to go out there and pull people out of the abyss. You have to go out there and save people from their own selves. And part of rescuing takes the truth. We are free because of the truth. And if you are afraid to tell people about themselves, you cannot rescue them. If you do not have the ability to look a person in their eye and tell them the nitty-gritty about themselves, you cannot rescue them. Unfortunately, rescuing takes training of your own, and it takes dire measures. And so that measure is being able to look at a person, analyze where they're at, and tell them the truth, so that they can be able to look at themselves and that truth can set them free. Now, we do this in a couple of ways. Once we tell them the truth, you have to have something for them. If you see a person that's starving, you just can't tell them they're a liar. You just can't tell them they have bad character. You have to give them some food. If you see a person that's naked, well, you can't just go at them talking about, well, you're a crackhead. Well, of course, they know that. You have to put some clothes on their back. So, how do we do that? I'm saying we have to relate to people where they're at. When we rescue people, when we go after them, Yes, we have to give them the truth. Yes, we have to do what it takes to shock them, get them out of that mind frame. But you also have to relate to people. If a person is starving, give them something to eat, then tell them about their character. Relate to where that person is, because that's the only way they're going to hear you. If I'm hungry and I haven't ate for 10 days, only a sandwich is going to make me sit there and listen to what you have to say. So let's learn how to relate to people. Alright? The third way that we help people is by maintenance. Just like your car. You can buy a car at the car lot, it can be brand new. Or you can buy a used car. Or you can have a hoopty sitting out in the driveway. But whatever type of car you have, that car is going to require maintenance. And that's what people need. Maintenance for their everyday lives. Now, what is maintenance? That is giving people, once you went through the prevention, once you rescue them, now you have to give people the basic tools that it takes to live everyday lives. Everyday successful lives. Everyday healthy lives. Everyday lives where their minds are changed and renewed. And that's how we keep people from falling back into their hole. It's by giving them tools and principles that they can use to help them. Now listen, here's the deal. You're going to have to know those tools and principles yourself. One of the biggest problems we have in this country is our mentors that are trying to mentor people who need to be mentored themselves. And I'm not saying that you don't ever get continuing education yourself, because I do. But if you got issues, you can't help nobody else. So before you try to be a doctor, go to medical school first. But we have to give people the tools that it takes so that once they're out of that trouble, they can live and be successful. This is L.I.F.E, the life specialist, and I'm here to help you get a life.